You misinterpret neutral behavior as personal. Why neutral behavior does not always feel neutral? Sometimes your brain turns small actions into a personal message. A short reply, a delayed response, a quiet tone, or someone walking past without saying much. On the surface, nothing dramatic happened. The behavior might be neutral, but internally it can feel personal almost instantly. This pattern is easy to miss. You react not to what happened, but to what you think it means. The brain wants meaning quickly. It dislikes uncertainty. When behavior is unclear, the mind tries to explain it fast. Explanations often arrive before evidence. If someone seems distant, your brain might assume they're upset with you. A brief answer. Your brain assumes annoyance. The mind fills blanks because not knowing is uncomfortable, but its answers aren't accurate. Past experiences shape interpretations. If you've been criticized, ignored, or rejected, your brain becomes sensitive to similar signals. Neutral behavior can trigger old interpretations. Are you reacting to the current situation or what it reminds you of? That difference matters. The feeling may be real, but the meaning attached to it may not be. This happens in everyday life, especially with texting, a one-sentence reply. And suddenly it feels like something changed. You reread, detect tone, and wonder if you did wrong. But maybe they were just busy, tired, or multitasking. The message was neutral, but your brain turned it into evidence. Personalizing feels convincing because the emotional reaction is real. Your stomach tightens, your mood shifts, your thoughts start moving faster. The body reacts as if the interpretation is confirmed. But emotions can respond to assumptions, not just facts. That is the difficult part. The feeling is real, but the conclusion may still be wrong. An observation is what actually happened. An interpretation is the meaning you added. They replied late is an observation. They don't care about me as an interpretation. They were quiet today as an observation. They're upset with me is an interpretation. This distinction sounds simple, but in real life it can be hard to separate because the interpretation appears so quickly. Most behavior has more than one possible explanation. Someone may be quiet because they are tired, distracted, or stressed. None of those reasons may have anything to do with you, but your brain may ignore neutral explanations. Insecurity can make neutral behavior feel threatening. If someone worries about being disliked, actions may seem like proof. The brain starts collecting small moments and turning them into confirmation. Insecurity affects how they read everyone else too. When neutral behavior is constantly interpreted as personal, relationships can become tense without a real reason. You may withdraw, become defensive, or respond coldly to something never meant negatively. Then the other person reacts to your reaction, and suddenly a problem exists that did not exist at the beginning. The interpretation can create the conflict it feared. One of the most useful things is learning to pause before accepting the first explanation your brain gives you. Not every thought needs to be trusted immediately. If someone acts differently, it may help to ask, what else could explain this? That question does not erase the feeling, but it creates space. And sometimes that space is enough to stop a neutral moment from becoming an emotional story. This can sound harsh, but it is actually freeing. Most people are thinking about their own lives more than they are thinking about you. Their tiredness, stress, distractions, responsibilities, and moods influence their behavior constantly. That does not mean your feelings do not matter. It just means other people's actions are often shaped by their own internal world. Awareness means noticing your interpretation without immediately believing it. Overthinking means building a whole story from limited information. The goal is to recognize when your brain is personalizing something without enough evidence. That small recognition can prevent a lot of unnecessary stress. You misinterpret neutral behavior as personal because the brain wants meaning quickly, especially when uncertainty feels uncomfortable. Past experiences, insecurity, and emotional reactions can make harmless actions feel like evidence of rejection or judgment. But neutral behavior often has many explanations that have nothing to do with you. Once you learn to separate what happened from what you added, it becomes easier to respond with clarity instead of reacting to a story your mind created. Thanks for watching.